Oral intimacy is often treated as a taboo or awkward topic, yet it plays a powerful role in human connection and emotional bonding. Beyond the physical side, it carries deep psychological and behavioral meanings. Today, we'll explore 7 fascinating psychology-based insights about oral intimacy that most people don't know. It can strengthen relationship satisfaction. Research suggests that couples who engage in oral intimacy often report a higher sense of closeness and satisfaction. It's seen as an act of trust, affection, and emotional generosity, qualities that deepen the bond between partners. It activates the brain's reward centers. During oral stimulation, the brain releases dopamine, the same chemical linked to feelings of joy and reward. This creates a sense of pleasure and emotional connection similar to what we experience from affection, food, or appreciation. It may have evolutionary roots. According to evolutionary psychologists, oral intimacy might have developed as a mate retention behavior. By enhancing pleasure and emotional fulfillment, partners become more attached and less likely to look for intimacy elsewhere. Comfort. With oral intimacy improves communication. Couples who are open and relaxed about giving or receiving oral pleasure usually communicate better about their desires and boundaries. This openness helps build mutual trust and emotional transparency. It impacts self-esteem and body confidence. Feeling desired and valued through intimate acts can enhance self-image and confidence. However, societal shame or partner criticism can have the opposite effect, sometimes lowering self-worth or creating insecurity. Cultural and educational influences matter. Attitudes toward oral intimacy vary greatly across cultures and belief systems. In societies with open sexual education, it's often viewed as a normal part of affection, while in conservative settings, it may be seen as inappropriate or taboo. It promotes bonding through oxytocin release. Like other forms of close touch, oral intimacy triggers oxytocin, the love hormone. This chemical strengthens emotional closeness, trust, and long-term attachment between partners. Conclusion: oral intimacy is far more than a physical expression. It reflects emotional safety, trust, and the psychology of connection. Understanding these deeper dynamics can help partners create healthier, more open, and emotionally fulfilling relationships. Part 2. The deeper psychology behind oral intimacy. While many people view oral intimacy purely through a physical lens, psychology reveals that it can actually reflect a lot about emotional intelligence, attachment styles, and even personality traits. Let's explore a few deeper insights that go beyond the basics. It can reflect emotional maturity. Being comfortable discussing or engaging in oral intimacy often signals emotional maturity and security within a relationship. People who handle it with openness and respect usually have a healthier understanding of consent, boundaries, and shared pleasure. It's tied to attachment styles. Psychologists suggest that individuals with a secure attachment style often find oral intimacy more emotionally fulfilling because they associate it with trust and care. On the other hand, those with avoidant or anxious attachment styles may feel discomfort or overthink their performance, which can affect satisfaction. It reveals power dynamics in relationships. In some cases, oral intimacy reflects the balance of giving and receiving. When both partners feel equally comfortable taking and giving pleasure, it indicates mutual respect. But if one partner always gives without receiving, it might reveal imbalance, self-esteem issues, or the desire to please at their own expense. It can strengthen nonverbal communication. Unlike most interactions, oral intimacy relies heavily on body language, reactions, and subtle cues. This builds a unique kind of silent communication that can deepen emotional understanding between partners. Shame and guilt can influence enjoyment. In cultures where sexuality is suppressed, people may associate oral acts with guilt or shame even in loving relationships. This emotional conflict can limit physical satisfaction and emotional connection. Overcoming these mental blocks often starts with education and honest communication. It teaches empathy and emotional awareness. When done with genuine care, Oral intimacy can foster empathy. It encourages partners to be attentive to each other's comfort, signals, and needs. This sensitivity often extends to other areas of emotional connection and daily life. Confidence and consent go hand in hand. The best experiences come when both partners feel respected and free of pressure. Consent and confidence create psychological safety, turning the act into an expression of mutual appreciation rather than performance or obligation. Conclusion: oral intimacy isn't just an act of pleasure. It's a reflection of how partners connect, communicate, and care for one another. Understanding the emotional and psychological layers behind it can lead to healthier, more compassionate relationships, where pleasure, trust, and respect exist in harmony. Part 3. The Science and Psychology of Oral Intimacy. Behind every act of physical connection lies a world of biological and psychological processes. Oral intimacy, while deeply emotional, is also rooted in fascinating science. Let's look at how the brain, body, and behavior all work together to shape our intimate experiences. The brain sees it as a reward. Neuroscientists have found that oral intimacy activates the brain's reward circuitry, the same network responsible for feelings of joy and motivation. When dopamine is released, it reinforces pleasure, connection, and satisfaction, creating a stronger emotional memory linked to your partner. Oxytocin deepens emotional bonding. During intimate acts, including oral contact, the brain releases oxytocin, commonly called the bonding hormone. This chemical encourages trust, affection, and long-term attachment. It's one reason partners often feel emotionally closer after intimate moments. Stress levels naturally decrease. Intimate touch and pleasure release endorphins, natural chemicals that fight stress and promote relaxation. Oral intimacy, when shared with care and comfort, can reduce anxiety and even improve sleep by calming the nervous system. It affects attraction and desire. Cycles. Consistent positive experiences with oral intimacy can increase sexual confidence and strengthen desire. Psychology suggests that when pleasure is mutual and emotionally connected, it boosts overall relationship satisfaction and long-term attraction. Mirror neurons and empathy play a role. Our brains contain mirror neurons that activate when we see or feel another person's emotions. During oral intimacy, these neurons enhance empathy and sensitivity, allowing partners to sense each other's responses more intuitively, a powerful form of nonverbal emotional exchange. Hormonal chemistry builds emotional safety. Alongside oxytocin, the body also releases serotonin, the happiness chemical. Together, these hormones help build a sense of emotional safety and contentment, turning physical connection into a psychological comfort zone. It can influence long-term bonding patterns. Studies in behavioral psychology suggest that couples who engage in regular, positive sexual contact, including oral intimacy, often experience stronger relationship longevity. It's not about the act itself, but the emotional consistency and closeness it creates over time. Conclusion: oral intimacy isn't just a physical expression of love. It's a dance of brain chemistry, emotion, and trust. Understanding its psychological and biological depth can transform how partners experience connection, making intimacy not just pleasurable, but profoundly meaningful. Part 4. How Culture and Society Shape. Oral intimacy, human intimacy, doesn't exist in isolation. It's influenced by culture, media, education, and evolving social norms. Oral intimacy, in particular, has been viewed very differently across generations and societies. Understanding these cultural shifts reveals how our environment shapes both our comfort and confidence with physical connection. Cultural values define perception. In some cultures, oral intimacy is seen as a normal and natural part of love, while in others it's treated as inappropriate or taboo. These beliefs often stem from religious teachings, social traditions, or collective moral standards. Our early exposure to these ideas can deeply influence how we think about pleasure and boundaries as adults. Media has reshaped conversations about intimacy. Modern media, from movies to social platforms, has made discussions around intimacy more visible. While this has helped normalize sexual education, it has also created unrealistic expectations about performance and appearance. Psychology shows that when people compare themselves to idealized portrayals, it can lead to pressure, insecurity, and self-doubt. Education makes a major difference. Access to accurate, shame-free sexual education greatly impacts how people understand oral intimacy. Those who receive open, science-based information are more likely to approach it with respect, consent, and empathy rather than secrecy or guilt. Gender norms still influence attitudes. Social conditioning often affects how men and women view giving and receiving pleasure. In some societies, it's seen as a sign of dominance or submission rather than mutual enjoyment. But in healthy relationships, oral intimacy becomes an equal exchange, a reflection of trust and shared satisfaction.